Hey everybody, what's going on? Get this camera set up right. So tonight, what is it that you need to master to take your performance to a whole nother level? That is the hinge. Okay, it is one of the most fundamental human movement patterns that we have. Oh, I know it sounds so exciting, human movement pattern. But do you want to have better performance? Then you need to know how to hinge. What does that look like? Well, deadlifts. Are you doing Olympic lifts? Olympic lifts start with the hinge. If you don't know how to hinge, you're not going to be able to do those types of movements. It unlocks your posterior chain, which is the muscles that run along the back side of the body, low back, glutes, hamstrings, calves, etc. So it is one of the more underused chains of muscles in our bodies because we sit all day, we're hunched over, we're in this forward position where our backside is not used. So today I'm going to show you a quick drill, a quick little exercise to start getting your body familiar with that pattern. Once you can take this and master it, then it's on to mastering it while you are under load, when you're deadlifting, when you're doing power cleans, when you're snatching. Those exercises may not be right for everybody. That's a totally another topic, but to know is what you need to know right now. So, all you need is your body, okay? One quick thing about this. The hinge is different from the squat. So there's two common lower body categories of exercises: hip dominant and knee dominant. So knee dominant, squats and lunges, where you have a lot of bend in your knee, and hinge deadlift style don't have nearly as much. So what we're going to work on is just practicing this motion. So I want you to stand a couple of feet in front of a wall, okay? And what you are going to do is walk yourself back. Your legs are not locked, so your knees are not locked out. You want soft knees, just bent, okay? From this bent position, you're not going to bend them anymore. A lot of people confuse a hinge with a squat, and their hips go too low. There's a lot of knee bend here. Okay, you should have very vertical, straight up and down shins as you're doing this. All the motion is happening at the hips. That's why it's a hip dominant motion. So I'm about a foot or so in front of the wall. I'm just going to cross my hands across my chest and push my butt back, touch the wall. Okay, that was easy. I'm going to scoot a few inches forward and go again. And then when you really get that action happening, and you really find that sweet spot, that weight's going to shift back to your heels. Your hips are going to be pulled back behind your heels. As you can see, I have very vertical shins, okay, but I'm not locked out. So just a soft knee bend as I push the hips back. Hamstrings are on fire here, a lot of tension. And I'm keeping this flat back positioning, okay? I'm not rounded over. That's where the issue comes. That's one of the biggest things that you're going to see and that you're going to do when it comes to this. You're going to have maybe good lower half action, but if your upper half's jacked up, if you can't maintain that flat back, that neutral spinal positioning as I move through this, then when you start practicing that and take it into the gym, onto the power rack, doing your deadlifts, then that's where you're going to throw your back out because you're going hunched over instead of that neutral spinal position. So just work on holding this, okay? Nice flat back. Oh, good. Oh, brutal. Hamstrings, brutal. So that is today's quick test, quick little exercise. One other thing you can do is, Dan John calls this a Bulgarian goat bag swing. It's very similar to this exercise. You're basically just holding like a kettlebell or a dumbbell right up against your chest as you're doing this to keep that tension in the front of the body here, which is what you're going to need. Okay, you're going to need the abs and the core locked in. So you basically just be holding on to the weight right here as you're doing this, and you're pressing it into your chest, fighting to keep the chest upright, not letting it pull you down, right? The weight's going to want to go down with gravity. So when that happens, then that's when we lose that neutral spinal position. So that's going to help keep the core locked in, really challenge you to start getting the awareness like I was talking about the other day, okay? I know they're all random performance tips, but all this shit has a meaning, okay? It all ties in together somehow, some way. Whether you want to look at it one way or you want to look at it as a whole. So these are important things that you're going to need when you're really getting under load. When we're just moving our body around, things like that. These specific movements, core control, spinal mechanics, stuff that a lot of coaches are going to harp on, won't be as important when there's not as much load, there's not as much stress on the body. So practice that one, get that ingrained before you start trying to get crazy with any deadlifts, any other hinge exercise, anything really. I mean, just if you can practice this and you can get this motion down, it is going to change the game for you. So that's your random performance tip of the day. Thank y'all for checking in tonight. See you next time. Hooah! Go Giants!